They call it law of attraction, to attract the audience first.
What are you attracting? You are not attracting the audience to yourself. Our job is to attract the audience to Christ, not to us. It is those that are in showbiz that attract the people to themselves. So the preacher should not keep the focus on himself. The preacher should keep the focus on Christ. That does not mean that there's anything wrong with the preacher looking expensive, looking well-dressed, looking well-organized.
Having taste of aesthetic.
Exactly. Jesus, when he was on earth, was an expensive dresser. The Bible said that when he died, the Roman soldiers did not tear his clothes. They had to cast lots so that the lot will fall on one person who would take the cloth home.
You are pulling my leg.
Because the dress that Jesus wore, the Bible said that it was seamless from top to bottom. It is a variant of an ancient version of a very expensive dress. Jesus was a power dresser. And in Jesus' time, he wore clothes that the poor people of his time could not afford. That's the truth about Jesus dressing. So there is nothing wrong with a pastor dressing well. There is nothing wrong with a pastor putting on expensive clothes. Because most of the clothes that pastors put on at times are not bought by them. They are bought by people who admire them.
And you know, there's a kind of way you will dress. People will not even give you attention to listen to what you want to say.
That's if you appear beggarly.
Yes.
You appear pitiable.
Say, hello, Mr. Man, I want to take you to the word of God.
Some people will say, if your God is so pitiable that you look this horrible, why are you trying to attract me to that God that will drag me down to this condition you find yourself? So most people will not listen to you the way you look because they look better off than you. So why will they listen to a God that will drag them from the height where they are down to where you are? That does not mean that dressing expensive is the condition for preaching the gospel.
Okay.
The condition for preaching the gospel is dressing decently. The clothes may be so cheap, but the way you arrange them, neatly arrange them and organize them, you look so organized, so neat and so presentable, such that if you wear those clothes and stand in any international platform, nobody will look down on you.
Yes.
It is dressing shabbily, it is dressing pitiably, it is dressing to attract sympathy. That is the problem. No preacher is permitted to dress in a way that you attract sympathy. Jesus never dressed to attract sympathy. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof.
Wow. You know, a man of God once said, a popular preacher said Jesus never visited any poor person. What do you have to say about that?
That's not the truth. God does not write off poor people. The rich and the poor were created by God. If he said that Jesus never visited any poor people, please, when he was born in a manger, was that a sign of poverty or was that a sign of wealth?
It's a sign of poverty.
Jesus started his journey from a humble beginning.
Okay.
So saying that Jesus never visited the poor when he was alive is an error. Because if you go around the scriptures, you find out that Jesus had relationship with the poor in order to bring them the gospel. Actually, when he read his manifesto in Luke chapter 4 verse 18, one of the first things he said is that the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, for he has anointed me. The first thing he said, to preach the gospel to the poor. The poor in spirit and those that are materially and physically poor. A lot of people say that the poverty that Jesus was talking about in Luke 4:18 is only spiritual poverty. Me, I don't agree. I accept that it is both spiritual poverty
and physical
poverty.
So there's nothing wrong when we make our prayer point money.
No. There's absolutely everything wrong with it. Because when you begin to pray, just like we said in one of our discussions, that prayer is not just for requests. Prayer is a fellowship. Prayer is a communion with God. So you don't just reduce your prayer to request about money. Because money does not just come from asking God to give you money. Even if you ask God to give you money, what God will give to you in response is an idea or a solution that you provide to people so that they can give you money in exchange. There are three ways that money comes into our hands. You either exchange money with your goods and services, or you exchange money with your time. Those that are employed, you are working somewhere, at the end of the month,
They pay
they
you.
pay you. Or you borrow the money, beg for the money, or steal it. So money comes either by labor, or by borrowing, or by begging. So you either get it by labor, or you get it by begging. And God does not want us to beg. God does not want us to borrow. That does not mean that in business, there is what is called OPM in business, other people's money, where you leverage on available finances in order to expand your business, because you know that your business will return the profit that you will use to offset the loan that you took.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with taking loan as a businessman, but there's everything wrong in borrowing money to eat, borrowing money to buy clothes, borrowing money to survive.
Or to live a luxurious life.
That's an error.
Right.
But borrowing money to expand your business and to multiply money so that you can offset the loan, there's nothing wrong with that.
Wow.
So money comes, God will return to us the prayer for money as ideas, as opportunities for work, so that we can give people our services or our goods and our products or our goods in exchange for money.
Okay.